You didn't allow me to grieve. Jonathan Frakes breaks down Riker and Troy's almost divorce in Star Trek. Picard. For nearly 4 decades, Commander William Riker and Counselor Deanna Troi have been one of Star Trek's most beloved couples. From their flirtations aboard the USS Enterprise D in The Next Generation, through their marriage in Star Trek Nemesis, to their idyllic family life on Nepenthe in Star Trek Picard, Riker and Troi represent stability in a universe where starship captains rarely settle down. Yet, Picard Season 3 revealed that even this cornerstone relationship almost didn't survive. In a candid interview, Jonathan Frakes, who has portrayed Riker since 1987, broke down how grief nearly tore apart Starfleet's power couple, offering one of the most grounded and heartbreaking examinations of marriage in the franchise's history. The loss that shook them to their core. Riker and Troy's marriage had weathered years of Starfleet postings and galactic crises, but nothing could prepare them for the death of their son, Thad, born with a rare and incurable medical condition. Thad's passing left both parents devastated. For Troi, an empath who experienced emotions more deeply than most, the loss was crippling. For Riker, who had spent his career holding command under fire, grief was something to compartmentalize, not to express. Frakes explained that this difference in grieving styles became the wedge that threatened their marriage. Riker couldn't allow himself to break, he said. He thought he was protecting Deanna by staying strong, when in reality, she needed him to break with her. Instead, she felt abandoned in her grief. The heartbreaking line, "You didn't allow me to grieve," which Troi delivers to her husband in Picard, encapsulates this struggle. It wasn't simply about loss. It was about the way grief isolated them when they most needed each other. Why Picard took Riker and Troi there, bringing this story into Picard was a bold choice. For years, fans assumed that Troi and Riker had the fairy tale ending most Star Trek romances never got. They had a family, a home, and a life away from the endless crises of Starfleet. But the writers wanted to show that even the strongest partnerships face breaking points. Frakes revealed that he initially hesitated when reading the scripts. "It's uncomfortable to play Riker in such a fractured place," he admitted. "But it's also real. Grief doesn't respect strength or rank. It sneaks into the spaces between people, and if you don't face it together, it drives you apart." This creative decision humanized Riker and Troi in new ways. Instead of standing as untouchable paragons of marital bliss, they became relatable. Two parents struggling under the unbearable weight of loss. It made their eventual reconciliation all the more powerful. Marina Sirtis and Jonathan Frakes. Playing the pain. Frakes also praised his longtime co-star Marina Sirtis for how she approached the material. "Marina and I have been doing this dance for decades," he said. "We know these characters like we know ourselves. So when the scripts gave us that fracture point, it wasn't hard to step into it. We know what buttons to push for each other." Their on-screen argument in Picard, raw, sharp, and filled with years of unspoken pain, was one of the show's most intense emotional moments. Both actors leaned into their history, channeling the comfort and tension that comes from portraying a couple for nearly 40 years. "It wasn't about acting sad," Frakes noted. "It was about acting familiar. This is a couple who knows each other inside and out. And that's why the hurt cuts so deep." Star Trek's most realistic love story. While Star Trek has always featured romance, few relationships have been explored with the depth of Riker and Troi. Unlike Kirk's fleeting entanglements or even Spock's complicated Vulcan bonds, Riker and Troy's story has evolved in real time, aging alongside the actors who portray them. What makes their almost divorce in Picard so compelling is that it doesn't diminish their love story. It enriches it. By showing that even Riker and Troi were vulnerable to loss, the series underscored that love isn't about perfection, but perseverance. As Frakes put it, the point wasn't that they almost didn't make it. The point was that they chose to keep going, even when it hurt. That's marriage. That's commitment. A lesson beyond Starfleet. In the end, Riker and Troi did not separate. They found their way back to one another, carrying their grief, but no longer letting it define their bond. Their daughter Kester remained a source of joy and grounding. And by the time Picard Season 3 reunited them with Jean-Luc, their marriage had survived its darkest trial. For fans, this was more than just character development. It was a reflection of life itself. Loss, love, and resilience are universal experiences, and Picard dared to show that even in the utopian future of Star Trek, the most human struggles remain. Jonathan Frakes' breakdown of the near divorce reveals why the story resonated so deeply. It wasn't just about Riker and Troi. It was about every relationship tested by tragedy. It was about the reality that grief doesn't end with one person. It reverberates through families, marriages, and friendships. And yet, As Star Trek has always promised, hope endures. Conclusion. Stronger than ever,